Well, in other news, tragic news, 2 U.S. troops killed, 1 still missing after Iranian missile and drone attacks in Jordan on Friday. To discuss, we'd like to welcome in Illinois Congresswoman Mary Miller. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Congresswoman. Iran's supreme leader warning Washington of, quote, unforgettable lessons to come following the death of 2 U.S. service members, and 1 of them still missing after those Iranian missile attacks in Jordan there. U.S. CENTCOM forces successfully completed another round of strikes on Iran, striking crucial Iranian military sites and facilities. Congresswoman, what do you expect Iran's next steps to be? And maybe even how do you expect the U.S. to respond out of retaliation here?
Well, I couldn't predict what Iran would do because they don't think the way we think. And President Trump is aware of that. President Trump is a strong leader, and we're thankful for that. Our hearts go out to the families who have lost loved ones. Our troops are in harm's way. They've deployed to some of the most dangerous places in the world. And, we need to continue to pray for our troops and pray for the recovery of those who are injured. But I fully expect President Trump and our awesome military to show how strong we are.
Congresswoman, I want to shift gears here and talk about this. The ICE traffic stop in Maine, it unfortunately ended in the death of an illegal Colombian immigrant. Markwayne Mullins said that the criminal weaponized his vehicle, prompting the ICE agent to defend himself. The secretary also said that he will be, quote, turning up the heat when it comes to cracking down on criminals illegally trespassing on American soil. Would love your thoughts on those events.
Well, the ICE is going to be deploying more cameras so that the false narrative can be, shown to the American people. But we're doing what President Trump promised as an election promise, to deport the tens of millions of people that Joe Biden and every Democrat supported, rushing our border, coming in and invading us. And this is just fulfilling our campaign promises, and we're undeterred. President Trump, Tom Homan, undeterred. We're going to continue the deportations. We're going to continue the pressure campaign to get illegals to self-deport. We're cutting off taxpayer-funded benefits to non-citizens. It's a common sense.
Yeah, Congresswoman, you recently posted on X saying that from 2021 to 2024, illegal immigration drove housing demand higher, contributing to roughly 30% of home price growth and 20% of rent growth in the average local market. I mean, how upsetting is this to hear for Americans, especially you have a lot of young adults that are trying to save, trying to buy their first home. Of course, it's just getting and buying that first home and then, going from there. But to see that this is kind of a ripple effect, I mean, your thoughts?
Well, it's maddening because they did it for votes. The Democrats are cheaters. That's why they're opposed to Save America. They brought these people in for votes, 100%. Their ideas are terrible. They've been taken over by communists. And 90%, 90% of Americans across the board, Democrats, Republicans, all minorities, support voter ID. So let's get it done. And I heard someone say, Senator Thune, change your tune. Get it done.
I like that. Congresswoman for Illinois, Mary Miller, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
You're welcome.